Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a really cool hover effect in Elementor and add a customized vertical scroll bar. So, as you can see here on my screen, I have two boxes. You can use these for anything you want, like if you're going to list out your services or whatever you're going to create on your website. You can see here I got a couple of boxes, and each box has a little bit of text, some features. It's got a heading. Now, if you want to create like a hover effect where this box changes to a different color, you can do that very easily in Elementor by clicking on the container, going to Style, clicking on Hover, and then click on this little classic option here, and you can just say you want the hover effect to be white. So as you can see, when you hover over this, you get a white background. But you can't read any of the writing because there is no option in Elementor to change the text color to a different color, which I think is crazy that they don't have that in there. But if you come over here to hover, you can use a different background color, like a dark color, since you're using white. So you'd have to really just use a color like a dark color. If you want to use a light color, it's going to be really hard to read your writing. So I'm going to show you how to create something like this. As you can see here on my own website, I have something very similar. I have this box with a blue background. As I hover over it, you can see it turns to white. The text turns to black. And then I have this scroll bar right here to scroll up and down to see all the contents within this list. And I'm going to show you how to build this out in the free version of Elementor. Now, to do this, we will need to use a little bit of code, but the good news is I've already taken the time to write out the code. It's not a whole lot of code, it's just a little bit, just what you can see here. I do have a link in this in the description of this video. There is a link that'll take you to my website where you will be able to download this code, and then you can paste it into your website. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything here completely, and we're going to build this out from scratch. So the first thing we need to do is take a container and drag it onto our canvas, and this will be our main background color. This will be the main container. So like here I have like a purplish gradient background. We're going to set something like that up here. So I'll just adjust the height, and I'll give it maybe like a red to purple. There we go. That looks good. Okay. So this will be our background. And then on here, we're going to do the following. We're going to take another container and drag it in. And then this container here, we're going to click on it on the square. We're going to come up to Advanced. We're going to come down here to CSS Classes, and we're going to give it a custom name. I'm going to call it Z Container. You can call it anything you want, but if you're going to use the code that I'm giving you, you'll want to type in the same thing that I'm using. Otherwise, you'll need to modify the code a little bit to reflect the name that you're going to give it here. So just to keep it simple, we'll call it Z Container. And the reason why I put a letter Z in front of the word container is because I'm not sure if the word container is being used in Elementor in some other type of CSS code. So just to keep it unique, I put a letter Z in front of it. You can put an X if you want to. It doesn't really matter, but just to keep it simple, I'll just say Z Container. The next thing we want to do is come up to this plus sign and drag on a text editor. Now, don't use the heading, because sometimes the heading element will not work, will not give us the right effect that we're looking for, so it's better just to use a text editor. So we're going to drag a text editor into the canvas, and then up here you can just change the text. We'll just say our heading. You can bold it up just like so. Come back to the plus sign, and then take another container, drag it below the heading. Okay, and then inside of this container, we're gonna come to the text editor and drag a text editor into that container. And then just to make it more writing, I'm gonna paste a little bit more text in there, and then I'll say feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4. I'm just trying to fill up the space here and give it some writing. I'll put this on a bullet point. There we go. Alright, perfect. So we have our heading and we have our text editor right down here. We need to click onto the heading, go to the pencil icon, go to advanced, and put a class name of text for the heading. And then for the features, click on the pencil icon, go to advanced, and also call it text as well. Now, as you can see, we have the features in another container, and the reason for that is because we're going to put our scroll bar in this container. So this text is going to essentially be scrollable with a scroll bar. So come to this container, go to advanced, and give it a CSS class name. I'm going to call it features. So we have this container with a CSS class of features. This text element, or this text editor, has a CSS class of text. The heading has a CSS class of text, and then the container that houses the heading and the features container has a CSS class of Z container. Once you've done all this, come up here and click on publish. Next thing we're going to want to do is come up to this E. Now, if you real quickly, if you look here in Elementor, if you come to advanced and scroll all the way down, you have this option called custom CSS. If you have the pro version, you'll have like a little editor field over here where you would just be able to take the code that I've already created and paste it into the CSS class. But since this is not available in the free version, we will need to do it a different way. So we're going to come up to this E, click on exit to WordPress. It'll take you to your WordPress editor. Click the W to go to the WordPress dashboard. Go to appearance and come to customize. And then down here you'll see additional CSS. Click on that. You're going to take the code, copy it, and then paste it into the box here. And now, as you can see, once you paste that code in, you now have the effect that I showed you here. You got the scroll bar here to the right, and then you got your text, which is scrollable within, because this is a separate container. And then you can see how everything works perfectly. But it doesn't look exactly like my example, because I got some a lot of inside space going on over here. I got the edges curved. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So we're just going to hit publish here. And then we'll go back to our website. So we'll go to pages, and then we'll go edit with Elementor. And then we'll go to the container, the Z container, the container that houses everything. We're going to click on that square. Go to style, go to border, and then give it a border radius. You can say 20. And then see what it looks like. It's got that curve effect going on. Maybe we want to make our writing a little smaller. It's too big. We can come over here and just make the writing a little smaller, just like so. And then we can give it some padding as well. So come up to advanced and then just say maybe 40 pixels of padding. Oop, actually wrong place. Let me remove that. You make sure you're on the main container, the Z container, go to advanced and put in 40 pixels of padding. And now, as you can see, we now have 40 pixels of padding around the outside, and we have our scroll bar effect here. Now, of course, there's not much to scroll because we made the writing a little smaller. But if we come in here and we were to increase the text a little bit more, you can see now the scroll bar, the main container stays the same height, which is 200 pixels. But you get your scroll bar in here and you can scroll. Now, in case you want to adjust the height and you want it to be something else, just come back to go back to the WordPress dashboard. So let me just publish these changes here. Go to exit to WordPress. Click on the W again. Go to appearance and customize. Go to additional CSS. Come down here where it says dot features, and you can actually increase this. Say you want to make it 300. So you can see how the box gets bigger. The scroll bar gets not there's not much to scroll now because we've increased the height. So if you make this 100, you can see how it gets even smaller. Scroll bar gets a lot smaller, and then there's just more to scroll through. So I keep it on 200. That's a pretty good number. Now, other things you can do with this code you can modify it. So like if you come down here to this one where it says features WebKit scrollbar thumb, this is a color code. This color is the color code for the scroll bar. So say if you don't want this color, you can just put another color code in here, keep the pound sign, and just put the hex value right after it. Or if you know the color you want, say if you want to use like yellow, just highlight all of it, including the hash sign, and just type in the color like yellow, orange, red, and as you can see, it changes as I modify. The border radius just gives it a little bit of a curve on the scroll bar. So like if you put it to 0, or like if you just completely remove it, it'll be a square. If we put maybe like 5 pixels, it'll be a little less of a curve. So I keep it on 10, but you can adjust it however you like. And then over here for the text, we have the text color as white. So if you come over here, for example, we can change the color to green, whatever you want to, whatever color you want to put. We'll just leave it on white. I think that looks good. And then over here is your hover color. So if you want the color to be red, you can control, all these settings over here. Actually, this one is not actually being used, so we can delete that one. So the color for this text would be, let's see, right here. So we say red. Now this one, you notice it's not changing because in Elementor, I think I actually picked the color to override this. So we'll fix that. But you can adjust the text color right here, and it'll adjust your text before you hover over. And then the hover color is going to be this one right here. So if you say you want it to be blue, just type in blue, or put the hex value here with the pound sign. And then as you can see, you get the blue, because this is the hex value for blue. And again, the reason why this color isn't changing is because something with that text, I might have accidentally changed the color in Elementor, so we can fix that pretty easily. But that's how you adjust the settings here. I'm not going to publish this because I'm going to use the default settings that I've already created. So let's just go back to Elementor. Go to Edit with Elementor. And then let's just come in here and delete all the text. And there we go. So anything you paste in here, so say if you want to paste in some other content, I'm just going to copy all this. Just paste it in. And there you go. Pretty cool effect. And then before we wrap up here, something else that we can do, say if we want to kind of duplicate this box and have multiple of these boxes going across, what we can do is come up to the main container with this colorful background. Go to the main container. Make sure the direction is set to horizontal with this right arrow. As long as this is pushed in, this means anything that's in this container will go across. So now you can come up here, right click on this one, on the Z container, and duplicate it, and duplicate it again. So now as you can see, we now have 3 containers with the same effect, and we have our scroll bar. So I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. If there's something you'd like to see, put it in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified when I come out with future videos. Thank you.